Check it. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Data Zero, and in this video we're going to be looking at AMC, the overall stock market, SPY, S&P 500. We're also going to quickly look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, give you guys an overall market update, what I'm looking at for the cryptocurrency market, stock market overall wise, and we're going to look at each and every meme stock, AMC, GME, BBBY, and APE. So you don't want to miss a second of this update, especially if your favorite stock is on it. I do technical analysis for each one of those stocks and tell you what I'm looking at for the week and the week coming up. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on.
All right, guys, you are back for another video with Data Zero. This is your end of day market wrap up / after hours market wrap up. So what we are looking at is the overall market. We're going to be looking at AMC, our meme stocks, and cryptocurrency in this video. So let's quickly look at the S&P 500 quickly, then quickly look at crypto, then look at our favorite meme stocks. So my predictions for the S&P 500 in the short term is that we could have a little bit more pullback, but I am expecting us to get a nice bounce here. Okay, so here in the short term, I do think we're going to get a nice bounce, but we really need to get above on the S&P 500, this 4,169 level. We need to get above that, see a push above this other local high of 4,195. We definitely need to get above that to see this continuation of this upside. Now, if we do get some downside, you could see the S&P 500 come back down to about 394. If we were to look at the SPY, this would be for about 389 on the SPY. So that is what I'm looking at for the S&P 500. If it does come down to those ranges, I do expect it to get a bounce. But right now we are consolidating in this rising wedge, and I do expect it to continue to consolidate up and then eventually break to the downside, retesting these lower areas here, possibly this low here or this low here. But I do think we are going to continue to trend up for the next couple of weeks, then have a nice pullback to the downside. But if we break above to the top of this rising wedge, we could see parabolic action for the S&P 500 as it could push up to new highs, as crazy as it sounds. But since it's in this rising wedge, I expect it to come back up here for the next couple of weeks, then come to the downside, retest these lows, and then possibly continue to move to the upside or continue to the downside. We'll determine that when it happens. But that is what I'm looking at for the S&P 500. I do think we're going to get a bounce here in the short term, and in the long term, I do think it is bullish overall. Let's quickly look at crypto and then go ahead and look at our favorite meme stocks. Now, we are seeing Bitcoin have a slight bit of pullback, but Ethereum seems to be outperforming as it is holding key levels of support. So this is very bullish for Ethereum, so it is slightly outperforming Bitcoin, but I do think overall Bitcoin is going to be going in an uptrend over the next course of 2023 and throughout 2024 into the halving. I do think Bitcoin is in a bullish trajectory. I do think we're going to see more upside. It's okay to have a pullback. It could come all the way down to about 23,000 and still be very bullish in my personal opinion, because it hasn't even tested this overall upsloping resistance and support that we have right here. Now, it is breaking out of this falling wedge on the long term, so that is a bullish continuation pattern, bullish to the upside. And if you look on the weekly time frame, you have a green weekly MACD. Last time you had those, you had this run up here, this run up here, and we also have a buy signal on the weekly time frame. Last time you had a buy signal on the weekly time frame, you had this run up here and this run up here. This is all very bullish for a continuation to the upside on the long term for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. So I do think they are going to continue to move to the upside. Ethereum, basically, it's holding that $1,950 support. It's a little bit under it right now, but it's been basically consolidating around those levels. I do think Ethereum also is going to have a bullish trend. As you guys can see, it also has that bullish buy signal on the weekly time frame right here, as you guys can see. And we also have golden crosses on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. If we go ahead and put the EMAs, the 50 EMA is marked in gold, the 200 EMA is marked in white. And if we go to the daily time frame, you guys can see we have golden crosses on the daily time frame for Ethereum and Bitcoin, both extremely bullish indications. Let's go ahead and look at AMC. So AMC on the short term, guys, like I said, we would have a little bit more downside. Now AMC is in this nice falling wedge, so I expect it to have probably a little bit more pullback tomorrow and consolidate downwards towards this 480, 475 region, and then get a pop from that 480, 475 region, start to continue to the upside, then get another pullback all the way down to about 480, 450 before moving to the upside. So I do think that is the path AMC is going to take. And as you guys can see, the bars pattern is calling for a little bit of upside right now. So it does say that, and if you look at the candle right now that we're getting, we got this green doji. So we have this downtrend. Now we have this green doji telling us that the trend is possibly ending. We're going to get a little bit of upside, probably like I said, throughout Monday, maybe even Friday, but I'm thinking more Monday next week. Friday is normally a day you take risk off the table. See next week having a green week slightly, then have a pullback running into the 27th as we go into the 27th, into the 26th. So between the 26th and between the 23rd and the 27th, start heading downwards and then have that massive launch to the upside that this bar pattern is predicting and has been playing out candle for candle ever since this big dump right here. It's been calling out all the shots, letting us know exactly what's going to happen. So that's what I'm looking at for AMC. I do think APE also, let's go ahead and look at APE. I think APE is going to remain relatively flat. I do see upside in APE's future as it is in a cup and handle formation and also does have bullish indications on the daily time frame. As you guys can see, daily green MACD. Now it does seem to be dying out a little bit, getting a bearish cross, so that could be an indication of a little bit downside for APE, but overall it's consolidating in this overall uptrend. It also has this cup and handle formation. Right here is the cup, right here is the handle. So if it gets above this $1.70 region, it could have a nice pop to the upside to $2, $2.50, eventually retesting $3. So I do think APE does have significant upside in its future and will run with AMC. Let's go ahead and look at GME and then BBBY and go ahead and wrap up the video. But I also am going to look at the fundamental data after we look at the technical analysis. So AMC or GME did break that bull flag. Unfortunately, it did break the bull flag to the downside. Now, this could also be considered a little bit of a falling wedge if we go ahead and connect our price action so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. It could be a little bit considered a falling wedge, but I don't want to call it a falling wedge just yet until it builds a little bit more price structure. As you guys can see, this downwards channel slash falling wedge easily could be considered that, but I want to see it get a little bit of a bounce before I call the bottom here and see where we're at. But I do think GME is going to hold above $19, and I think GME is going to run with AMC, APE, and BBBY. I think all of these stocks are about to have major upside in the near to short future, and I do think that either AMC or BBBY is going to kick off the MOAs and begin to run off. It might be AMC because we're getting pretty close to the 27th, but BBBY has already started to run. And speaking of meme stocks, we also have Wish, the stock Wish, which is a OG meme stock, up and after hours, putting merit to the theory that we are going to see movements to the upside for these meme stocks, and they are all going to be running together. As you guys can see, Wish is up a significant amount in after hours, which is one of the original meme stocks. So I do think all of these stocks are going to be seeing moves together. I do think BBBY, AMC, GME, maybe even HYMC are all going to be correlated together and move together in unison. So I do think that there is upside in GME's future. As far as the technicals are concerned, there are bullish indications on the 4-hour time frame, on the daily time frame. So if we go ahead and put on the super trend, you guys can see we have a buy signal on the 4-hour time frame. If we go ahead and take the super trend off, you guys can see you have this golden cross on the 4-hour time frame, as well as working on one in the daily if you guys get a little bit more push to the upside, but you don't have one quite yet. But we do have a buy signal on the daily time frame, as you guys can see, and that's normally an indication of a run to the upside. Now, if GME can get above that $27 to $30 resistance right here, above the sloping resistance, you can see parabolic action for GME. Let's go ahead and look at BBBY and see what we're looking at for BBBY. So BBBY is looking pretty good in my personal opinion. All right, so we did have this overall downtrending day, which I did say was a a possibility today because RSI was overextended on the 4-hour time frame. Now that RSI is cooled down a little bit, BBBY is starting to build a base here between 25 and 30 cents. So as long as it stays above 25, 30 cents, I do think BBBY is bullish, as it did make this initial move off of 20 cents, 23 cents, ran up, seen a high of 50 cents and now pulled back, but is building a base at a higher high or a higher low than the previous low. So as long as it stays above that, I do think BBBY is in good shape, building a base for another move to the upside, letting RSI cool down. So I think that it could consolidate for another day or two, but have more significant upside later in the week or sometime next week. So as far as next week is concerned, I do think it will be a green week for BBBY, and I think it will start to run into the 27th, start to run up into the 27th, and start to run with AMC. I think GME will run as well. It might need to have the trigger happen, so AMC might need to run, and then you'll start to see GME run, as we've seen GME run before and then AMC pick up after. So like a little bit of a sympathy play type scenario there. But I do think all of these stocks, these 4 stocks, are going to run together in my personal opinion. So that's what I'm looking at for BBBY. Again, anywhere between 25 and 30 cents would be a good entry point. And as long as it stays above there, it would be bullish in my personal opinion, building a base and then having a movement to the upside. But you do have this buy signal on the 4-hour time frame, on the daily time frame, and you have bullish indications on the daily MACD and the 4-hour MACD, or the 4-hour MACD is getting that bullish or the bearish cross, but again, that could consolidate into a bullish scenario here later next week. So that's what I'm looking at for BBBY, AMC, APE, and GME, and the overall stock market and the cryptocurrency market. A quick stock pick that I want you guys to be aware of is Apple. Apple broke out of this bull flag and looks like it is making a beautiful consolidation to move to the upside. Now, I would be careful about tech stocks because stocks like Tesla and stuff are having earnings and are pulling the market down. So I would be wary of that. But I think Apple is going to see significant upside as it's consolidating above this perfect level right here. And it's going to have decent upside. Now, I would watch it for it to hit its head on this 170 resistance, this 170 range resistance, as it is a sloping resistance, so it slowly will be coming down over the next couple of days. As you guys can see, if you zoom out, it's a sloping resistance. But if it breaks above that, Apple could see significant upside up to 170 or 175 or 180 if it breaks that 170, 168 region here next week. So I do think Apple is set up for a significant upside. Also has this golden cross here on the daily time frame and has buy signals on the daily time frame. So you see the buy signal right here, and we have this golden cross telling us that this stock is extremely bullish, and I do think it is going to continue this move to the upside. Now, we are getting close to that major resistance that I was telling you about, but if we get through that, expect a nice pop to the upside for Apple. So that is a stock pick that I am looking at. So guys, this is your overall after hours market update for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, the overall markets, and what I'm looking at for the meme stocks and AMC. Let's quickly look at the fundamental data and then wrap up the video. So AMC's cost to borrow is rising again. This is a bullish sign. Hopefully it continues to rise into the 27th, putting pressure on the shorts. Also, we have FTDs coming due, which is giving us bullish momentum as well. As you guys can see, T plus 35 closeout date. FTDs coming due all the way from from May into April. So all of April and into May, we have FTDs coming due, which could put bullish momentum on the stock. And we are still on the threshold security list. Everything is lining up for a nice run. We also have more FTDs and more short interest and more cost to borrow than the last time we ran up to all-time highs. So I do think we are going to see a bigger move than all-time highs. And if we look at the bars pattern is actually telling us something similar because that is from the 2020 run-up. So that is the small run-up here. So that means we can consolidate to the upside after this initial pop and then have another massive move after that. And I do draw an arrow to the upside showing you guys where the indication is to go after that move. Have this passive pop to the upside, come back down violently, consolidate up, and then have another rip because it is the 2020 run-up. So again, we have more short interest, we have more cost to borrow, more FTDs. So the data is stacked for us to have a massive short squeeze and a higher high than the all-time highs. And we are still on the threshold security list. Again, everything lining up perfectly for that April 27th squeeze date that I did predict and the bars pattern is predicting. So guys, this is basically everything I have for you. Again, 0 shares available to borrow, relieving some of that short pressure that we might see. So again, AMC might see some upside Monday, maybe Friday, but I'm thinking more next week, a little bit of upside, then going into the 27th downside, and then having that big pop on the 27th into the 28th. So that is what I'm looking at for AMC. I do think we're going to get some news from the courts on that date, and that will be the catalyst for that. So that is everything I have for you guys. Check out my other videos for more information, and as always, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more Data Zero updates. I go live there, everything else as well, and I also will be streaming live on Rumble and Kick and on Discord, so check that out. You can follow me there, subscribe, everything else, and as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
Alright guys, that was the video. Hopefully you found it informative. And remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more Data Zero updates. Link down in the comment section and description below. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you that watches to the end of the video. It truly means a lot to me. And as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.